Okay, crew. We're going to go over the final two blocks because we're halfway through training, and this is really where we're going to make a bit of a shift in terms of just our focus and our intensity and volume. Just kind of everything's going to get a little harder from here on out for these final two blocks, and then we're going to recover right before the race. But really, all the training we've done up until now has been to prepare us to get through this next 3 week block. We're kind of currently in this middle section here. It's Monday right now when I'm filming this. So we'll go over the old build, and then I'm going to show you some extra things to think about. And I also am going to go over. I have a new build here that I've made for myself. That's how I tweaked my plan for the upcoming 3 weeks, and it's kind of options for you as well. So the main thing is that we've been doing essentially one strength-based workout on the Tuesdays and then more of a speed-based workout on the Thursdays. That's going to hold roughly true. The Tuesdays still are the kind of the longer threshold-based workouts, but we are also doing a second threshold-based workout now on the Thursdays instead of that speed workout, and these are shorter, but they're going to be harder because these workouts, there is no rest period really inside of them. They are still interval based, but it's that the rest periods for these Thursday workouts are now at our up tempo pace, which is going to be pretty close to marathon effort. So the goal is we're going to work somewhat hard at threshold, and then we're going to recover with about a minute at our marathon effort. And the goal is we want marathon efforts for most of us something we need to hold for at least 3 hours. So we don't want it to be something that's overly fatiguing. In fact, we want you to be able to maintain that pace and kind of recover. So when your brain, what you can be thinking of is you just came off of a hill or you had to surge to catch a pack, and now we want to be able to settle back into marathon pace, not slower than marathon pace, so settle back into about that effort and still be able to recover. So these are going to end up being, say, like about a 30-minute, about a 35, and maybe about a 40-minute kind of threshold session. But with these short chunks of not quite as easy inside of them, versus our longer intervals at threshold, which are going to maintain this easy pace. And honestly, what I would say for a lot of folks that I know, a lot of people have been doing this, is like you could just walk these, not EOC. You could actually walk. Oh, my computer is slow. Walk. So you could actually walk those, or you can run them easy. So that's the idea between those two sessions. And then we're keeping the same progression we've had for our long runs. So that's what's been happening. Now, what I want us to be thinking of is what are things we can do, because we're now stepping into both workouts are going to be pretty big during the week, and the long runs are also going to have more volume in them. So what we want to be thinking is we're going to be working harder. We need to also be a bit more diligent with our recovery. So there's extras here, and these are things, just questions I want you to sit and ask yourself. These are the things that are going to contribute to performance and recovery, and then we'll go over how to tweak the build. So are you sleeping enough? This is a question. I know a lot of us have families and kids and jobs that make it hard to get extra sleep, but could you find a way to get even half an hour, but an hour of extra sleep every night, or at least the nights after workouts? Is there a way you could go to bed earlier? Is there a way you could get a little bit more rest? Sleep is very important. Also, if you can get extra or if we can improve even the quality of your existing sleep. If you can't get extra time, can you eliminate some light sources? Can you make your surroundings quieter? Can you control the temperature? I know it's really hot during the summer right now. Is there anything you can do to improve your sleep quality? It's going to be different for everybody individually, but if we can get an hour and even improve the quality of our sleep a little bit, that is going to help with recovery, which is going to help us not explode from all the harder work that we're about to be doing. So for nutrition, are you eating enough volume? If this is something you're worried about, if you're noticing that you're not quite recovering between your workouts, it might just be that you're not eating enough. Most of us during marathon training are going to need north of 3,000 calories a day. This is kind of dependent on sex and how much you weigh, and I mean, we're all working pretty hard, so mainly kind of those two things. But if you want help with this, I have a calculator and we can pretty easily do that. I don't really love people counting calories because maintaining a good relationship with food is important, and I don't want people feeling like they have to like earn a meal or anything like that. But just getting enough food is important. Are you eating frequently enough, and are you getting enough protein? So these both come down to this aspect of nutrition and physiology that we get what we call an anabolic stimulus whenever we eat protein, whenever you eat a meal. You get a similar thing when you do resistance training, but you get the opposite, what we call a catabolic, which is like a breaking down whenever we do hard endurance training. So we don't want to just have our bodies break down. We need our bodies to rebuild as well. So having a meal, and especially a meal with a full serving of protein, so it's like at least 20 grams, if not 30 grams of protein, every 4 hours will maintain us in a more of a, what we'd call an anabolic state. Now, with the amount of running that anyone in a marathon training plan is going to do, we're all going to be net catabolic. So we're all going to be breaking down. If you're doing enough work, it's going to be really hard for any of us to actually like gain a significant amount of weight while we're doing marathon training, even if you're adding a whole extra meal during the day. But trying to get a full serving of protein every 4 hours, this could mean just adding a protein like shake or bar as a snack between meals. That sometimes can be enough to help recover. And so I would say days following hard workouts, and also days leading up to hard workouts. So that ends up being kind of every day if we're going 3 days a week. So, but that's the thing to consider. And this is for more so during the actual training, is, are we practicing race nutrition? Because this is an adaptation that we want to get from training, and if we're not using race nutrition during our training efforts, when we get to race day, we're not going to be as efficient as at doing it. So at least once a week, which is usually during the long run. But if you can get in during one of your easy runs, let's say you go for an easy hour, can you mimic the first hour of your marathon nutrition wise during that easy effort? Get your stomach used to taking in more calories. And I would ideally get people looking at how many grams of carbohydrate you can take in comfortably in a 1 hour stretch while still running. We want that to be at a minimum for most marathon people, about 60 grams. And if you can through training, which we know you can get up to, 80, 90 potentially if you're quite efficient at metabolizing. So, but this all requires practice. So see what you can find a way to count the calories over the course of that hour. And then we would want to convert that to grams of carbohydrate. So 1 gram of carbohydrate will have 4 calories in it. So if you're looking at the calories on a gel, just divide it by 4, that'll give you the grams, or you can do that math either way. So hydration. So what is your daily fluid intake? I would say before we even give you a goal, just take a couple days and track how much you're drinking. That can include like coffee, tea, juices, soups, shakes, things like that. But how much fluid are we getting in? And then once you get your total, maybe post it in the group, and then we'll decide, do you need more? But this is the point in training where we want to be looking at all of these extras. And then the last bit is psychology. So we haven't touched a ton on race psychology. When we get up to being towards our kind of genetic potential, race psychology becomes sometimes a make or break. Some people are just really mentally tough and are willing to go into a very deep, dark place. Other people aren't as familiar with it, and so it feels more uncomfortable for them, and it's harder for them to sit in that kind of suffering zone. So the question is, what do we do when we get into a point when we're suffering? And one of the best things we can do is to develop some form of either a mantra or a physical reset that we do during training when things get hard, and then during the race we repeat that same mantra or that same physical reset, and then it's familiar to us, and we know, hey, I've done this a dozen times in training. I did this reset. I felt awful. I said the mantra, I did the reset, and then I was able to finish it. So then in the race, I feel awful. I do the mantra, I do the reset, and I'm still able to finish. So we want to practice that to convince yourself, you're training yourself like a Pavlovian dog. We're going to do it repeatedly until we believe it. So physical reset, personally, what I like to do is I'll shrug up my shoulders, I'll clench my fists, and then I kind of try to throw all that tension away and try to then relax into my running pace. And I've done that hundreds of times during workouts, so now I know that feels really good, and that's where I've kind of developed into doing airplane arms when I'm feeling good. I shake everything out, and then I do that, and that helps me feel good. So, cool. So take some time and think about, what is your biggest fear come race day? Is it doing the distance? Is it the pace? Is it getting there and all the pre-race stuff? Or is doing the event not even a big deal and you're just going to go out and have fun? Figure out what you want to get out of that day, and then what, if any, barriers could get in your way. Let's think about them now, and then can we do anything during workouts or during training to overcome these fears? That's kind of a question. This could be something, maybe you could share this in a personal message with me, or if you want to share it in the group, that works as well. But I think it's better to think about it now, 3 months out, than it is to think about it 1 week away from the race, because there's not much we can do the week before. We have a lot of time right now to develop strategies to help you overcome any of this pre-race anxiety, or just any barriers that can get in your way. So, given all of these, this is all going to allow you to recover more. Now, a question is, and I know a lot of people have mentioned this already, is we want to make some changes to the plan because it's different training when you're 50 than it is training when you're 20. So that generally means it takes, the older you get, the longer we need to recover between hard efforts, which means we kind of can't get the same number of hard efforts in during a week. So there are kind of 3 options here we can do to reduce overall intensity if we're feeling like we're kind of at our limit right now, or even if we've kind of gone past it, because the next phase is coming up. They're going to be a step up. So this is a good thing to do, and I am honestly doing this as well. So one is we can go down to 1 weekly workout, so either Tuesday or Thursday, and then keep everything else the same. That's one option. The other option is to maintain Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. The Saturday, like the long run right now, we want to keep that. That's probably the most important thing. Getting another workout in during the week, most people should be able to do that, but we can cut down to just the 2 instead of having like a third effort in there. The other thing we could do is we can reduce the volume at intensity. So not the total amount you're going to run that day, but instead of doing 10-minute intervals, we might do 8-minute intervals, or we might do 4 intervals instead of 5. So we just cut down the volume of work during the workout across all of the across every effort. And then that way we're still getting good repeated stimulus. It just will allow you to recover a little bit more. None of the workouts will be quite as hard, but you'll be able to get all of them in. So these are just 2 different ways to kind of accomplish the same thing. And then another really good thing to do, and this is specifically if you're having any, I would say, acute aches and pains. So anything surrounding a joint that has lasted for let's say longer than 5 days, but longer than a week. If it's sharp, if it is really in one specific area and it's not moving around at all, those are all signs that like an area is starting to become injured and we want to pay attention to it. Impact is normally the thing that's going to hurt you. So if we can remove impact by shifting into a method of cross training, take some of our easy efforts, shift it to cross training. I've talked about this before, but just have that be something we do, let's say every Monday or every Wednesday instead of the easy run, and just commit to doing that for 3 weeks so that we take a little bit of that volume of impact away. Now, if we're going to do one of these, then we can tweak the plan to make it harder again. So let's say the plan is right now feeling at the right intensity, but there's still some things that you're worried about, and this is what's happening with me. So I've been feeling like I haven't been getting enough long efforts in, or I haven't had enough because I came off of a big layoff and I'm still building up. So this is my first kind of exposure to a training plan where I'm running really over 30K frequently, and I just feel like I need more long runs. So the only way I'm going to earn more long runs is that I am taking down the volume of intensity across all of my other workouts, because I'm going to add something, so I need to take something away so that I can maintain balance. You can also increase the intensity of your strength training. So if that's something you enjoy doing and you feel like you want to do, this can happen, but I would like you to do one of these things above as well. And the other thing we can do is to, and this is another thing I'm doing, is to add some easy or moderate hill sessions. And this is for anyone who doesn't feel strong on hills. I know most of us are from Nanaimo and y'all get enough hills. I'm in Coombs and everything's very flat. So I just need some more hills. So anyway, you can do one of these things. We could also add more speed if you want, but again, then we would need to do something to lower the overall intensity so that we maintain that balance. So how am I doing that? So the old build, this is what we just looked over. So what I've done is I've come down. The old build had 3 reps of 12 to 15 minutes. So I've shifted 3 at, this should be 3 reps at 12 minutes. That's what that should be. So I'm taking the bottom end of this range. Again, 45 to 50 minutes, I'm doing 45. This was 4 reps of 12 to 15. Again, I'm going to do 4 reps at 12. So I'm not even worrying about the 15 anymore. The old build had 5, 6, and 7 reps across these 3 workouts. I've taken those down to 4, 5, and 6. So I'm just taking that 1 rep off so that these workouts will be a little bit easier for me. And then what I'm doing is I have the old build had this max easy distance right at the beginning and then 2 workouts. I really want to I just got a 40K run in this past weekend. I'm going to do 32. Now it's going to take me a bit to recover from that 40K, so I want to get another decent effort in here. So anyway, I've just kind of rejigged these, so I'm going to do a bigger effort in the middle here. And then maybe I could do another one here, and then maybe I can do another one there. And then this is going to get me that kind of exposure to those longer efforts that I feel like I need. And because I have a history of ultra training, I've done repeated long efforts before, so I know that my body can tolerate it. So that's what is going on in the new build for me. And then the other thing I've done is on Mondays, I'm going out, and instead of having this easy strength day, I'm going to replace an easy run and my strength with just a hill session, which is here. We have a hill that's it's about 140 meters in just over a kilometer, or in about a mile. So it's a pretty steep hill, so that's going to count as my strength, and I'm just going to run that hill for about 10K. So those are the tweaks I'm making. Hopefully that gives you kind of an idea of how you could make tweaks to your plan. And really, again, coming back to these extras, how are we going to be able to get more? And if we do want to make tweaks, what kind of sacrifices are we going to make so that we can maintain a balance and not overload our bodies? Because we would rather get ahead of that and work within reason. So, sweet. Okay. Good luck with the next 3 weeks. Good luck with time trials this week. Ideally, we're shifting those to like an 8 or a 10K. 5K can still be okay, but this will be the last 5K time trial. I hope to see you on the roads. I don't know why I said that, but bye.